Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Essence. Today's video I'm going to be talking about another god, well, in this case, goddess that I have a connection with, that I've had quite a few run-ins with, both in the physical world and in the astral world. Today I'll be talking about Cerridwen. Cerridwen is a Welsh goddess of inspiration and transformation. Legends about her vary, but one of the legends that I know very well was that she possessed something called the Cauldron of Awen. Now, in some instances of the legend, the cauldron is called the Cauldron of Cerridwen, because it did belong to Cerridwen. However, Awen, who is a goddess of poetic inspiration, she is known as the Spark of Life, was worshipped by Cerridwen. A goddess worshipping a goddess. But anyway, within this cauldron, she could make truly powerful potions, and Cerridwen herself was known to be a very powerful witch. Or people call her an enchantress. Which I do believe that she was based on a real person years and years ago in England, but I can't substantiate that with any evidence, so that is just a belief of mine. Anyway, so one of the potions that she made, she actually received from Awen herself, and it was a very complex potion, had to be brewed for a full year, and it had tons of ingredients. You could not stop stirring, so she would stir the cauldron constantly while adding in ingredients. And whenever she was getting more ingredients, she would hire farm hands or her own family to keep stirring the cauldron. After a full year, she added in the final ingredient, and the potion was made. What was the purpose of the potion? So her son was hideous. He was disfigured, ugly, and she was very ashamed of him. So to compensate, she wanted to give him a potion that would grant him truly incredible powers, but especially one of the powers was of extreme poetic inspiration to be the best bard out there. So if he couldn't satisfy people with his looks, he could satisfy people with his words. But the potion allowed one to do many other things, including transform into animals. Well, she had left the farmhand's son in charge of stirring the potion while she went to go get her son. 3 drops is all it took for the potion to work. The rest was poison. That's how volatile it is. A whole cauldron full of the potion, yet only 3 drops could be taken by one person, and the rest was poison. 3 drops fell on the farmhand's son's thumb. It spat out with the heat, and he sucked his thumb, and he gained the powers. And unfortunately, afterward, it caused the cauldron to shatter because the rest was poison. When Cerridwen finally came in and she found out what he had done, she was pissed. They said her eyes turned red with a fiery fury as she went after the young boy. So he started turning into different animals to try and get away from her, and she would turn into whatever ate that animal. He turned into a rabbit, she became a fox. He became a fish, she became a bear, and it kept going on and on. Finally, he hid in a wheat field, and he turned into a strand of wheat. She became a hen and started eating the nearby wheat, including him eventually. And it's because of this that she eventually gave birth to him again. He became a child in her stomach. And at first, when she gave birth to him, she was going to kill him, but given the motherly connection between her and now her child, uh, it was very strong. She couldn't do it. So she decided to put him in a basket and float him down the river, where he was found by a nearby village, and he became a very famous bard. That's the essence of the legend. There might be some stuff that I left out, but that's one that I've read over and over again from different sources, like books and some documentaries. A very incredible story. Now, Cerridwen, she is very powerful. She can be called upon to transform one's life as well as oneself into the person they want to be or the life that they want. And she can also be called upon for inspiration, artistic inspiration, poetic inspiration, preferably. But basically, all manners of inspiration are open to her powers, among other things. My dealings with her have been in both the physical and the astral. And the physical has been all right connection wise. I mean, I felt her presence, but it wasn't nearly as strong as it was in the astral. Now, the few times that I have actually went to her, it's always been near Bala Lake. Bala Lake is a river, or not a river. It's a lake, a lake in northern England, and that's supposedly where she lived all those years ago. So that leads me to believe that she is based on a person, a real person from years ago, with, of course, details changed here and there as legend went from word of mouth. But it's always been near Bala Lake. And when I see her, she has long, black, flowing hair, pale skin. Her eyes are like a glowing orange. And she's wearing this cloak, this deep, deep blue cloak that is like twice the size of her own body. And she floats. She levitates over the lake. But I had the chance of going to her old house. And you can't really call it a house because it was like a little hut. It was like half inside the ground. There were like little stairs leading down into it. And her house had like a sod roof. It was like kind of built into the ground. And inside, there was like this small table, a few chairs, a lot of herbs, both in jars and both hanging from the ceiling, probably to dry. And the Cauldron of Alwyn. I actually was able to see it. It looked like a pretty decent sized one, about the size of the average cooking pot, if not a little bigger. I would say the size of a small dog. And it had Awen's symbol etched on it. It had nothing in it, and I felt it. It felt just like a regular iron cauldron. There was nothing really special about it at first glance, but I knew better. And truth be told, the reason why it was so powerful was because it was used by Cerridwen, who had the power of Awen. I did not. And I do remember her allowing me to make a potion in there. I couldn't even remember the ingredients, but I made something. And I tried to get the ingredients for the potion that she was trying to make for her son. I only got a few ingredients, but even then, I long forgot them. I wasn't able to get the full thing. I doubt I ever will, but it was pretty neat. But you can hardly imagine that anyone lived in that house, especially if she lived with a family, because she had a son and a daughter, and I can only imagine she had a husband. But I did not see him. I did not see the children. It was just her. Now, I did make mention about my investigation into the One, which, if you don't know what that is, the One is the name given to the Creator God that I am searching to try and connect with and try to learn more about. And Alwyn was actually the one that helped me, Cerridwen and Alwyn, make at least better contact than I had in a while with my own energies. Using the power of Alwyn, I was able to meet someone on his behalf, and she relayed a message to me that about a question that I was wondering from him, which is a little proof that he was listening to me. But if I'm not going to go into the whole thing here. If you want to know, it's the video where I talk about a breakthrough with the One investigation. So if you haven't seen that, watch that. It'll explain everything. But Cerridwen used the power of Alwyn to help me ascend to that level, which the One is on the highest level of the astral. That is not easy to get to if you are a human spirit. Demons can't get there at all, and negative human spirits have very little chance. But even more neutral spirits like us humans who are on here in the earthly plane, or even the best of us, like the more high vibrational good souls, have a very hard time getting to that top level. That is for a special kind of energy. But Alwyn has always been very nice. We have good dealings. She speaks to me. She answers questions that I have. She has helped me try and work on my investigation into the One and who exactly he is. And it's she's just so nice. And one day I would like to go to England, to Bala Lake. So I don't know, maybe I can get a sense of like her mindset, how she lived. Of course, her hut, if it did exist, if my astral perception wasn't obscured by my own thoughts, and that really was what I was seeing, her own hut, it's long gone by now. And if she was real and she did have children, I don't know if her family's still around today. I don't know. I think it would be hard to track that down, especially how long ago that was. But she has fascinated me for a long time. And if I go to Bala Lake, I know there's very little chance that I would actually find anything of her. But I would just like to see if maybe I can pick up on something, an energy, maybe a memory, I don't know. Or get some sort of connection, But one day I'll go. And when I do, I'll be sure to film it for you guys. I will. But Cerridwen is a very, very sweet goddess, and she knows her stuff. She's very confident, very self-assured. She's not afraid to show her power. But I have never had a bad dealing with her. Always a very strong connection. I would highly recommend that if anyone want to speak to her, please do so. I think you'll like the encounters you have with her. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Have a good night.